The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
With so many people living longer, the fear of outliving your money becomes a reality for many of us. Will I be a financial burden? Will I outlive my money? How will I be remembered? My name is Neil Himmelstein, president of Main Street Planning Group. Please contact me by visiting mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. I will introduce you to strategies that will guarantee you will not outlive your money, that can guarantee you will not be a burden on your loved ones. Through a collaborative approach, we will uncover solutions that offer tax-efficient strategies, lifetime income, and legacy planning, choice, organization, direction, and education. That is the code we stand behind. Contact mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. And listen to me every Friday at 3 p.m. as I host the Main Street Code for Financial Success, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can reach me at 631-647-4694. I work all throughout the United States. We help hundreds of advisors, accountants, CPAs, insurance agents throughout the country with their insurance needs. As an independent wholesaler, we are completely non-biased as to what companies we use, and we make our money from working with you, and the companies pay us. You don't pay us a thing, so it's all on a consultant basis, and we give complimentary consultations all the time. We like to help people, and that's what we love to do. When we talk about our code is choice, organization, direction, and education. And last week, I started to talk to you about if you have a pension, and there's been an anomaly in the market that I just discovered, and I was talking to a co-host who is a certified financial planner and a CPA, and he talked to me about a client that he had, and wow, what a job we did, and he wasn't familiar with these concepts necessarily, and then when I showed him the numbers, his very words were, no-brainer. The client's words? No-brainer. So we're going to explain what that's all about. So if you're lucky enough and you're getting ready to retire, you have a big, big decision to make. If you have a pension, you have a huge decision to make. It is a lifelong decision. And if you're in that position, you need to call and let us go over the numbers with you so you can make the right decision, because it means the rest of your life. So here's what happens if you work for a civil service company, a lot of big companies that used to have pensions, governments. A lot of you will get what they call a pension option, and this is money that's been set aside for you by the company typically for your retirement. And it's designed to set it up on a group basis. It's done by age. It's done by how much money they put away. Even if you work for the post office or something else, they're going to put away a certain amount of money so that you can have a certain amount of money at retirement. But it's predicated on rates done actuarially, done when they set up the group. So if you just think about the time we're in an unprecedented time of extremely high interest rates, and we were in a long period of very low interest rates. So the new rates that we can offer are so much higher, which mean what does that mean when the rates are higher? It actually is going to mean more income for you so that you can keep up with inflation and or use that extra income that you weren't preparing for to maybe lease a Mercedes-Benz every month for the rest of your life. So that's the kind of thing we're going to talk about. So here's what happens if you are fortunate enough to have a pension and you get a pension statement. I happen to have one in front of me. That's fresh in my mind so I can look at it. So the first option that you may have is you can cash it out as a lump sum. Well, pensions by their very nature are all pre-tax, so that any money you touch, you would have to pay taxes on that. So the idea of a pension, which is really a group annuity, by the way, people don't call it that, but it's a group annuity. The idea is if you take that lump sum, you'll be taxed all at once. So you would give away maybe half your pension for everything you worked for. So that's really not a good option to take that money, okay, in one lump sum. So the other option is you can roll that into your own IRA at no charge. So I roll that money. If your plan allows it, you could possibly roll it into your own IRA and there's no charge and there's no tax until you touch your money. Again, no charge whatsoever to do that. And you could have somebody manage that money possibly for you, or you could manage your own money. But again, having that payout every month is something that you've worked for, and as part of, hopefully you have other assets, planning tool, you want to plan to have that income for the rest of your life. That's a big deal. And it works out really well knowing that that's a definite, I'm going to get this amount of my money. So here's the different options they're going to give you after that. The first option is we're going to give you what they call a single life annuity. It'll even say the word annuity in it. So people want to know what's an annuity. You know, and people say, oh, the bad annuities now. Not everybody can talk to you about annuities. These investment guys, these Charles Schwab, what's that other one? Oh, annuities are bad. Well, they don't, you have to be licensed to sell annuities. You have to have an insurance license. They're offered by insurance companies. Many of these investment companies don't talk about them because they're not allowed to sell them. So why are you bashing them if you don't know what the heck you're talking about? An annuity makes a payment stream to you. If you win the lottery, they do the same thing. So they base it upon your age, and they give you a single life option. Now, if you're single and it's just your income, the single life option is going to give you the most payout, and that will pay you for the rest of your life, forever, that dollar amount, until you pass. And when you pass, there will be nothing left behind. So for married couples, typically, people don't do that. They say, well, I don't want my wife to, or my husband not to have the benefits of me working for 30 years. So typically, and the typical option is that there'll be some sort of joint option. So the next option that this company has, they call it a joint. Well, they have a bunch of them, but they have one that's called a joint and 50% contingent annuity. Now, what does that mean? So they have one that's a joint and 100%, but they're not showing it here. This particular company doesn't have that option. So every company has different options. So you really have to see what options they have. They don't have that option. But the client was leaning towards taking this joint and 50% option. What that means is, as long as the client lives, in this particular scenario, he would get $3,700 a month for the rest of his life. But if he deceased, his wife would get half of that and get $1,850. So that, and when she passes, or if they both pass, there's nothing left behind. It's gone. So all that pension, all that hard work is gone. But it's designed for your income for retirement. Forever. As long as you live. So you want to outlive it. Now, here's some of the considerations that you need to be making. And I say don't make them alone, because this is what you have to think about. What if you have a health issue? Okay? You don't want to see all that money disappear. You know, if you think, okay, you know, I've got cancer and, you know, I still want my family to benefit from this annuity, I can't have it disappear. So taking these options isn't a good thing. What if my spouse has a health issue where she's terminally ill, or there's an issue where she's got 3 years to live? I don't want to give up that additional income just in my life only if that's going to all be wasted for 20, 30 years. So health is a big consideration. Age is a big consideration. Am I 30 years older than my spouse? Is my spouse 30 years older than me? How long is this going to continue for? These are all number calculations and considerations that you can't make without really speaking to a professional and going over the numbers. Now, at no cost, you could take that lump sum and put it into an IRA, and that IRA can buy you an annuity with options that are better and greater benefits right now. Never before have we seen this because of the interest rate phenomenon that we're in. So I had this couple run just like this one. Like I said, the number was $3,700 a month. You know, I'm going to get into the numbers as soon as we get back from break, but it's very interesting. When I ran the numbers are going to astound you. You're listening to the Main Street Code for Financial Success, and I'm Neil Himmelstein. I'll be back right after a minute. If you want to question me about any of your situation, give me a call, 631-647-4694, and you can always reach me at themainstreetcode.com. I have YouTube videos of my previous radio shows and anything you want to catch up on, or shoot me an email, but any questions you have. This is a big concern. It's a big decision. If you have a pension and you're given a pension statement, call us. Welcome back, everybody, to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein, and you can always reach me at 631-647-4694. Today, we're doing a deep dive on pensions and understanding your pension statement. If you get a pension statement, or you're ready to retire, or you're thinking about retiring, get a pension statement if your company has one, and send it over to us and let us do an analysis for you. And part of that analysis, no charge to do it, by the way, what I'm going to be talking to you about and what you should be considering is I'm going to ask you about your health. I'm going to ask you about your spouse's health. I'm going to find out your date of birth. Very important when making this lifelong decision. The lifelong decision of a pension is how much money you're going to get every month for the rest of your life. So, very, very important. This is a lifelong decision. It is a key decision that you don't let that piece of paper walk by and go, oh yeah, I'll just do this. No, this is something you really want to do a deep dive in to maximize your money so that you can last out this high inflationary period, or have just extra money so you can do extra things, or use extra money to protect your assets. There's so many things you can do with your extra money. So we were talking about a couple, and this gentleman's turning 65, and he's at retirement age, and we were given this statement by a CPA to take a look at. And one of the options was, right before break, we talked about joint and 50%, because he would like his wife to have the benefit of the pension if he predeceases, which is a great idea. Great idea. And a lot of the automatic pensions will have that option. That's like one of the automatic options if you don't have options. But at joint and 50%, this gentleman would be getting $3,760 a month, I believe, or $3,700 a month. And if he passed, his wife would get $1,800 a month. If it went in that order, it doesn't always go in that order. And if they both were gone, the pension's gone nothing. So one of the things that we did is we looked at what the rates are today by taking it into their own IRA and buying their own annuity to create this pension. And the numbers we came up were $4,300 a month. That's $650 more a month every month for the rest of their life. So you multiply that out times 30 years. What a huge difference just by calling us at no charge. No charge for doing this. Nothing to do that. It's getting the same benefit, but with a lot more money. Big deal. And if he passes on that $4,300, she would get over $2,000 a month, $2,150, as opposed to $1,800. It's a lot more money forever. Now, but as I told you before, one of the things that happens is that if they both pass, there's no benefit. It's gone. However, in some of the annuities we have, you can actually have a cash refund of the balance. So in this case, this was a pretty good size annuity. Okay, it's a pretty good size rollover. Let's say it's over $700,000, and he has 30 years to live. So if you do the numbers, he makes out really well. The longer he lives, he keeps getting money. So the gamble is, what if they're both in a plane crash and pass away or something happens? Wouldn't you want your children and beneficiaries to get some of this pension that you've worked your life for? So we have ones with what they call a cash refund, so that whatever isn't paid out gets refunded to the beneficiaries. And that only costs $50 a month in payouts. So now we're at $4,250 for the same thing. Now I said, you know what? They don't offer this with this pension plan, but the CPA said to me, I would like to see her get 100%. 100%. I want to see both couples have the same amount of money because their expenses aren't necessarily going to change. They still have a mortgage and a separate property and this and that and bills, and they want this to cover their fixed expenses. He says, what will that come out to, Neil? Well, I did that number, and it was $4,000 a month. $4,000 a month is still more than $3,000, but the big difference is if he passes, his wife continues to get $4,000 a month instead of $1,800 a month for as long as she lives. Huge difference. You do the math. I could do it for you. We can multiply it out times 20, 30 years. These are things you have to consider. Now, I also have a couple of companies, and it's not every company that does this, that has this provision, that will do a refund on top of that. That says, okay, what if they both pass? I don't want that money to go to the wayside. So for $3,950 a month, forever, for both of them, and having the comfort at a cost of $50 a month of having it go to their beneficiaries, something happens to both of them, is huge. And the words the CPA said and the words the clients were, both gave me the same two words. No brainer. No brainer. That's what I want. Now, he has other investments and other assets and other things to invest, but for this portion of his portfolio, he wanted to make sure that he had a fixed income with no risk. That's what this is for. And that's how pensions are designed. Just like if you won the lottery or you had a pension, that's how they're designed. So that you know that this money is coming in every month. Now, you also can buy ones, which they don't offer from your regular pension, with inflation built in. You'll get a little lower number, but it'll keep up with inflation. They can actually have inflationary privileges put into these things. There's other options as well. You could buy an annuity with what they call an income rider. We didn't talk about that, but you can't buy it from your pension. You have to first do a qualified rollover to your own IRA, and then look at, let me buy a regular annuity with an income rider, and they have fixed ones as well. I know variable ones have it. And then you can have a predicted income for the rest of your life and possibly have the upside protection, of having a beneficiary on top of that. And it could be single income or a joint income. And in addition, it would have that refund aspect to it. And if it's in an index or something like that where you can't lose money, but it's based upon, let's say, an index, maybe you could have even more money, including the income, to be left over for your beneficiaries. So there are lots of different options, but you really need to speak to an insurance pro who knows how to do this analysis. And most accountants, most financial advisors do not have this information. This CPA does investments, but his main thing was, let me just look at the investments. I wouldn't invest the money, but the client wanted to make sure he had that income flow. And only in an annuity can you create that income flow that's guaranteed that you can't outlive your money. And today, it's nice to have guarantees. I know I feel comfortable knowing that my father had a guarantee income. Yes, he loved the stock market, but his favorite thing was to have that, that annuity I got was the best thing I ever got. He said, every month I get a check. I don't think about it. It goes into my account. It's part of my life. I don't, it's there. It's there every month. It's nice. It's there. While we're working, we don't think about it. Certain expenses are there, and we don't think about it. But when you retire, that's when you have to think about that. It's nice to know and have that comfort level that you're there. And with the extra money we can earn you, without any risk whatsoever, without any cost whatsoever to you, the extra money you can use for yourself. Take an extra vacation. Lease a Mercedes-Benz. Buy some long-term care protection. Once it's your money, it's your money. So think smart about your money. Give us a call. This is Neil Himmelstein. I hope you enjoyed our show. We're going to be on with a CPA next week and talking a little bit more in depth about this. Call me at 631-647-4694 for any of your insurance questions or annuity questions or long-term care questions. Or reach me at themainstreetcode.com. That's themainstreetcode.com. Neil Himmelstein. Have a glorious weekend, everybody. Thank you very much.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.